I was exposed to music all my life and I liked it and I like singing and going on stage. I mean, the first time I went on stage, I was so scared I run off, eh? But
I think that dance and art on the whole provides a great opportunity to cope with stress. Music makes the world go round.
To me, art is an expression of the creative mind.
Ballet is my passion.
It helps us to give more admiration to the world around us.
Music is from God.
God, the ultimate artist.
Welcome to the Connoisseur Panda, where we discuss topics related to the arts such as dance, music, literature, etc., and occasionally topics totally unrelated to the arts. But today we talk to Noelle Archer as she shares her experiences as a singer/musician.
Okay, so today we have a musician and performer and dancer by the name of Noelle Archer, and she's also one of the voices in my introduction for my podcast, the one that says "Music makes the world go round." So, Noelle,
yes. Hi, I'm Noelle Archer.
what do you do in the arts?
I do a lot of things. So I started off with music too. So I was born singing apparently. My mother used to take me with her to choir practice when I was in the belly. So I start off singing and I could have sing before I could talk because well that's what they tell me. I used to be singing. Anyway, so what I just do, as you can see, I sing. When you study music formally, you have to get acquainted with the piano. So I dabble in that a little bit, and I play with the guitar. On that show tonight, I perform one song on the guitar, but I am not a guitarist. So,
But I've heard you play. You played good.
oh, you take it in?
Yes, she has a live show, guys. Is it every
Yay.
Monday?
Yeah, actually, it's for this month, and that was like the fourth one. I started just 4 weeks ago, and well, 3 weeks ago. This was the fourth one, and next week is the fifth one. Next week is the final one until further notice
And it's live on Facebook at 8 p.m. Trinidad time.
on Monday. Yeah,
So you studied music at school?
yeah. Unfortunately, I did not get music when I was in primary school or secondary school. As a matter of fact, when I reached Form 4 in secondary school, they introduced music to the Form 1s, 2s, and 3s. I was so mad. So when I went to university now, I realized, well, I found out that I could attempt to do a minor. I never completed the minor, but I started my music at USC, University of the Southern Caribbean, and it was like a whole new world. I swear it was. My mind was so open. All these things I grew up around music, so I'd hear things, but now I could finally put a name to it. It was so awesome. Anyway, so I formally did music at UTT after that.
How did you decide to turn it into a career?
Let me tell you, I have a few reasons why I think I end up liking music so much. First of all, I was exposed to music all my life and I liked it and I like singing and going on stage. I mean, the first time I went on stage, I was so scared I run off, eh? But besides that, I think part of the reason I get so passionate about it is because I was deprived of formal training musically growing up. I never understood. I never touched a piano or anything until I studied in UTT. I was like over the age of 25.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a Trinidadian, you're supposed to know that instrument inside out before that time. Shame on you, Trinidad. Anyway, but it was that, I think, because I was deprived of it. And like, if I had it all the time, I probably would have taken it for granted. And the next thing is after I started working my first full-time job, I realized every morning I waking up, my eyes sleepy, I'm going in traffic. It was so, I hated it. It was too much. After doing that for like 2 years, no, mind you, I love the job. I love the people I work with, everything. But you see that
It
after,
was like a corporate job?
I was teaching.
Oh, okay.
Primary school, a private school. After the experience of trying to get to Cascade for 9, trying to get to Cascade for 7, trying to get to Cascade for 8. All that's the times that I do work 9 to 5, I work at 8 to 4, I work at 7 to 3. But all of it was rush hour. And I was late so often. Oh my God. It was horrible. And the next thing is, I didn't like the full-time teaching because I love singing over the weekend. And then I'd teach full-time. I'd be hoarse every Friday. So when I want to go to a practice Friday night, I'm hoarse, you know? I was like, this is not healthy. So one day I was going to work real sleepy and tired and just grumpy. And I was thinking to myself, I hate my life. And then it hit me. Why am I living this unhealthy life? This cannot be right for anybody. So I did some introspection over a while, over a time period, and I decided to quit my job. I didn't know what I was doing, but I decided I wanted to do music because I like music and I could do that for the rest of my life. So I think it was the fact of coming from such a horrible place to music. I could grasp onto music so much harder and so much stronger than if I didn't have that kind of experience, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the main problems a lot of people in the art field have is that they kind of don't know whether to go fully for what they love, because I feel like the arts itself is kind of unsupported. I feel like sometimes we kind of deprive ourselves of our own passions. And that's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. People look for a sense of security because they're not sure how it's going to work out and whatnot.
Yeah, true. So you have a band, right?
I had a band. Now, if I have a
Tell us.
if I have to perform with a band, I usually hire musicians and form a band. I had a band before. It was called the A Plus Band. So when I was in university, UTT, I had this group of friends. And usually in school, when they tell you have to get in a group for a project, I would choose people that I know would pull their weight, and I would choose them fast because I was real brutal. When you see I decided to study music, I was like, I am going to do my best. I leave my full-time job, is do or die here. So like I was a drowning man grabbing at straw. I had to get this done, you know? So like the teacher would be like, get in the groups of fives, and I would eye people across the class. I was like, you in my group here? Like, yeah. I'd secure them. And if because I was always doing my work, if somebody say I in their group, they will want to be in a group with me, you know? So anyway, so this time we got in groups, and the teacher said, all right, let me hear the names of the groups. And you know me, I formed my group a long time. This group say, Miss, we're group A. We're like, no, we say we're A. You're not A, we're A. So Miss ended up writing down the next group name first at A. And we were like, well, only could be A. We are A plus. And that was the group of people that I usually work with like throughout school. So we end up forming a band and we call the band A plus. And yeah, so during school we performed, and for a few years after school we also performed. So right now the band is dormant. We have members across the oceans and stuff. So
Hopefully they're all safe during this COVID time.
yeah.
So, do you have like a specific genre of music that you stick to when you're singing or performing, or is it like anything goes?
Anything goes. Now I am. I don't stick to any one type. I try to be versatile in terms of if I don't understand how a certain type of music goes, I dabble in it a little bit so that I could be proficient. You know, I could get through it. I could hold my own, right? So from rock, not heavy metal. I do scream and damage my voice. I mean, I had to save it for it, right? But from rock to classical to soca, R&B, gospel, I would like to get to know a little bit more Indian classical because I mean I'm in Trinidad, but I don't know much of it. I like know one song.
You have a favorite?
I love gospel. That's where I started off. I started off singing in church, so I feel like that's home. Gospel is home, right? My voice likes it. That's probably my favorite. Gospel. Final answer.
What was like your most memorable performance, or your biggest, most important show to you?
um, because that's two different questions.
Okay, well,
Okay.
answer both.
All right. So my most memorable performance is probably not what everybody would be like. Wow. My most memorable performance is I had a friend and she's like, Noelle, you just perform so good, but I'm feeling like your performance missing something. You know, friends could do that to you, and I love that. You know, so I do some introspection and stuff. And so my next performance, like right after that, it was so emotional. Like it was a gospel song too, eh? And so well, the thing about gospel music is you have to mean it. So when I sang that song, it was real deep, and I was crying on stage. When I came off a stage, I could like, well, not crying like boohoo, but like my soul was crying. But I had to try and control my voice, of course, on stage. I had to get the job done, blah, blah, blah. But when I came off stage, I break down. I just was like, so that I think that one is most memorable right now. Is less than a year ago actually. That was my most memorable. The performances that I probably am most remembered for is me and my sister. We have a duet called the Archer Sisters, and we performed on Digital Rising Stars in 2015, and we were finalists, baby. Yeah. So I thought that people would remember us from that because Digital Rising Stars, think about it. When last have you seen a duet? Two people singing together on Digital Rising Stars.
I actually haven't watched Digital Rising Stars in a while.
I know, right? But yeah, 2015. And at that point, I wasn't watching Digital Rising Stars either. But I mean, I was on it, so I was watching it then.
And you had a song called More Love. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write this song?
Okay, so actually, I didn't initially like pen it. I came up with an idea. I called a friend of mine that's a writer, and I told him what I'm looking for. And guy from UTT, I was in a group with him actually my first year because he's a worker and real talented. Jamwa, Colin Alexander is his name. He goes by Jamwa. He did it, baby. Yeah, so check him out on social media.
Apart from like this current lockdown situation we have with the coronavirus, what were some of the career challenges you faced previously, if any? Well, I'm sure there were.
If any. Ha. Oh no, music, it was perfect. Nothing was wrong. Challenges. Here's what happened there. I am a music teacher. So I think before the lockdown was music festival was happening. I mean, my children were doing awesome. I was so proud. But I think some of the challenges was just trying to meet children to rehearse, and these children nowadays have busier schedules than us. So these children, oh, you can meet Monday. No, I have swimming. No, I have basketball, football. I have all kind of chess, all kind of things these children do. Gymnastic, dance, everything. So just meeting with children to rehearse could be challenging. I found myself having a lot more dance gigs than music gigs this year. That is so funny. Could you believe that there are people that think I'm a dancer?
You
and
are a
don't know
dancer.
I know, but I see myself as a singer first.
You
When
danced in
somebody's like,
Marshall Monday. What are you saying?
I know, but I am a dancer and I need to get accustomed to saying it still, right? One of the challenges is, as I said before, is not like a secure job because you kind of depend on the market to get jobs. So that's a challenge, right? As a musician, I look for other avenues to express and make money. So that's why I do teaching as well. And this kind of teaching does not sway on my voice as much as teaching social studies, history, math, and English, you know?
Now you teach online classes now because of the COVID-19 situation.
Honestly, the amount of classes I had before has significantly decreased. But yeah, I do. So anybody wanna do an online class? You just look up Noelle Archer and holler at me. Noellearcher. I have time.
Good sign. So, do you have any advice for musicians out there who are probably the up and coming musicians or even like musicians who are currently facing the pandemic? Do you have any advice you would like to give them?
I think sometimes because we home we just get lazy. Keep practicing. That's the first thing. Keep practicing. Get creative because we all have to get creative during this period. And I'm not just saying compose a song and I mean get creative with yourself as being an entrepreneur. I take my own advice to it. I like talking to myself right now. And look forward to a better tomorrow. If you lose hope, you lose your soul. You had to look forward to something or else you're just sitting down and waiting to die. Really. That's my advice. That's kind of morbid, but but
Realistic. Very realistic. Do you have any questions you want me to ask you?
what's my favorite food? Lasagna. So my birthday is September the 5th. Anybody want to drop some lasagna? I'll take a lasagna. I'll freeze it if I get too much.
Thank you very much, Noelle.
No problem, Patrice. Hashtag Patrice Race.
Guys, don't forget she has her show on Monday on live on Facebook, 8 p.m. PT time. She has a very fantastic voice, if I may say so myself.
Oh,
If you don't believe me, watch her
you.
show on Monday. It's really great. Check out her YouTube channel. I will post the link. Any final words, Noelle?
IG.
Yes, I will put all that.
Right. Thank you. Firework sound.
That's the fireworks. Love it.
Thank you for listening to the Connoisseur Panda podcast. Today's episode featured me, Noelle Archer, and you could find me at Noelle Archer. That's NOELLEARCHER on Facebook, YouTube, IG, and Twitter.